A little bit of housekeeping tips, and someone like myself, the alchemist, empathic souls, how do we process information, especially when it comes to the beginning of life, when you know a little bit about yourself and you have a little bit of understanding how things are working in this 3D planet. We tend to ask these questions. I remember myself asking these questions very early on, extremely confused. But nevertheless, I kept asking these questions from myself. When you uh, hear people say, do you have to go to school? You have to become someone. And then maybe you have father who says, well, you're perfect the way you are. I wouldn't change a hair on your head. Everything is the way it's meant to be. Everything is perfect. But someone else will reinforce that you really have to get yourself education. You got to become someone. But in your mind, you're asking these questions. What do exactly that mean? If I'm not enough the way I am, what do you mean by become someone? At this point, you understand the kindness and compassion and sharing and caring and the happy existence because you're young. This is what you do with your groups of other children you hang out with. We seem to have our natural conflicts, and yet we overcome these challenges. We end up having an enormous level of fun playing and hanging around because we understand the teamwork, we understand all these fun stuff. Yet with every year, every month, even in your youth, you're learning very quickly the competitiveness of a school system and the information, as if it is taking some time away from your imagination now that you have to focus on these exams, and a little bit of competitiveness comes, and the cattiness, and the all of a sudden we seem to have a little bit more hostility towards the peer groups, and this is how we navigate life. Then you observe the adults, the students from much higher classes, and the way their behaviors for a little mind is pretty obvious. As you grow up, things are going to become increasingly complicated for you to your rational mind. But life was simpler. You have a stronger connection and awareness around your surrounding and to maybe your source God. This is where all the struggles begin, because social programming tells you that you are not enough. You have to become someone. You have to be the cultures come into factors, and the religions and all these complicated things coming to play a role. But you quickly realize you are like a motherboard. Everything else is a programming, and how far you're willing to go is completely up to you. But someone who is extremely connected and empathic alchemist would know that things aren't going to be as easy as it sounds, but you really have to stand your ground. This is when you develop your personality, and things become really complicated. It's because you have this hidden pride, you have this knowingness that you're worth so much more. You don't need to go down these paths in order to become somebody, because you are already someone. somebody is important. You have a pride. You don't know where it's coming from, especially when you're young. You don't have anything. You don't have much influence on anything, yet you have this little pride, and the family members might think you're arrogant, you're snobbish, and it's not appropriate, especially when you're a younger person. But we always look at things in a more holistic manner. We see how people behave. We see how people make you feel. You know, these people in the living in the big house, and with all their resources, their little bit of coldness towards you, and workers who work in your tea or your properties, the warmth they provide you, the caring and the kindness and gentle, genuine curiosity about your life. So you have a very clear understanding as to your place in this space that we call planet Earth, the families and school, and you become somewhat rigid because of these core beliefs, the core values that you come into this earth with. And when everyone is disagreeing with you and taking a side and trying to force you into a belief system, or like to put you in the spot every chance they get, you seem so isolated, yet you are so extremely connected. You are feeling enormous level of love from unknown sources, and the courage follows with this, and manifesting things and your heart desires, and all of these things are making sense when you immediately place yourself in circumstances or situations that seem to come to fruition very quickly, maybe even in few years. This is how we see the world. This is what your understanding is all about. But the external world is very clearly give you so many different clues, and put you in a absolutely undeniable level of information for you to gain your self-worth. And this is why you can never hate one factor, which is the external factor, and love the circumstances, because it is a very clear evidence, it's very clear information, but it's all there for you to create your own self-worth, gain your self-respect, and draw these boundaries, and how far you're willing to go down the rabbit hole and discover yourself. Because we hear words like work hard, invest, study hard, but we never hear the words heal hard, discover who you are hard. You never hear these words, but we know for a fact these are the most important lessons in life. Discovering who you are, and creating the self-worth, gaining the self-worth that is already there, because you are divinely created, divine energetic beings. So you are worthy. You have so many different abilities within you, especially the ability to heal yourself. If you're willing to listen and take information and use it wisely, because of your intuition, because of your gut feelings, because of your hunch that you are getting from that connection you have with the divine source. So fast forward these into the current timeline, we hear these things like essential workers. Everyone who is essential go to work while everybody else is working from home. What does this exactly mean? It's mean they are telling you you are the most important part in our social structure. You are essential. Without you, everything is going to collapse. They know it. They are talking about it. They're addressing it. Oh, there goes my flower. They're addressing it in a public form, but we don't know. We haven't realized our potential. We haven't realized our worth. We don't know how important our contribution is to our social structure. Therefore, we settle for these very little income, and usually these essential workers aren't the highest paying sector in our society, our social structure. Yet someone who works on maybe in a social media talking about irrelevant, pathetic celebrity culture might get extreme level of income. As it seems, it's like more irrelevant you are to the social structure is better rewarded for that time. Yet the essential workers are the ones who are capable of having a dialogue with the public, general public, whether it's in healthcare or the grocery or food industry or sanitation or whatever the case may be. These workers have enormous level of people skills. They are able to have a dialogue with people. They are able to have a common sense into how we do things, and survival is they are a little bit more equipped to deal with challenging times. Yet we are willing to overlook our self-worth. Where is that coming from? Is it not an opportunity for us to elevate ourselves and learn and heal ourselves? I don't know what is more appropriate. So it's all about how you navigate life. The empathic souls like myself, alchemists, we are very well aware, but we had that opportunity to completely disconnect from these things and these systems of class system. And you can go internal and have the courage to actually have a dialogue with the public if they're willing to listen. But this is the place where we seem to be more happier, more connected, and more healed, and you're liberated from all kinds of sicknesses and illnesses that was consuming you prior to these last few years. And perhaps if it didn't happen that way, we might still continue to exist in this trauma-based system without questioning, because we are so programmed, we are so accustomed to do things so mundane, like going to work and paycheck, and because we are fearful of what is the outcome. Even if we have a little bit of resources to get by, we overlook that because we're programmed this way, and you rather feel safe from external factors and have an inner dialogue with you and get the courage and a complete connection and disconnection from the external programming. This is how I see things, and this is how it helps me. So I'm communicating that into the external world at this point. But these are the areas how we gain that emotional strength, and relying on that absolutely magical, unknown, and spiritual connection, because it's available to us and it's there. We're not gaining that knowledge from reading a book. In fact, At this point, if you are to read a book or something, some sort of commitment like that, it's just going to be horrible, because this is the time. It's going to take away time from your imagination. It's going to take time from your space where you can go internal and go where the traveling is limitless, and it doesn't require any kind of effort at all, because it's available to you because you're going internal. And this is why we feel lighter. This is why we feel happier. This is why you are able to look at ourselves in the mirror. This is why we are liberating ourselves from the external healing methods or managing symptoms method, and go looking for something more long-lasting and something more holistic healing. It doesn't mean that we have a disrespectful what is out there, and we've used these tools in the past, but you are increasingly aware of your ability to heal yourself. A pain-free life is really magical. This is an opportunity for you to go internal and liberate yourself from all these limitations that we have created for ourselves.